Am I the asshole? Boyfriend thought he was entitled to 100% of the sales price of a part that was thrown in on a purchase I made. Hi there. This happened more than 10 years ago, but I've always wondered who was right. I, female, bought a used motorcycle with my own money, and my boyfriend at the time went with me to check it out. As we were talking to the seller, she mentioned that she had recently upgraded the pipes. My boyfriend asked if she still had the old pipes. She did. So he asked her if she would include the pipes in the purchase. She agreed. So when I paid several $1,000s in cash for the motorcycle, it also came with a spare set of pipes worth a few $100s. My boyfriend took the pipes home and started taking pictures of them to put them for sale on Craigslist. I said that was good thinking on his part to ask for the pipes, and that I would be happy to give him a cut of the sale. He said absolutely not. The pipes were his because we wouldn't have them if he hadn't asked for them. I said the pipes were actually mine because we wouldn't have them without my paying for the bike. I did, however, believe that he should be compensated for coming up with the idea, so I offered a 50-50 split. It turned into a huge argument, and I finally relented and let him have the pipes and 100% of the proceeds from the sale, a few $100s. Although I could kind of see his side, I always felt like he bullied me into giving him those pipes. We aren't together anymore, but curious as to which of us was the AH. Edit. 1. It's not that I didn't care about the pipes, it just didn't occur to me that she might still have them after putting on the new ones. 2. When he initially asked for them, I thought he was looking out for me and getting them for us to keep as spares. 3. It wasn't until we got home and he started taking pictures of them that I found out he planned to sell them. 4. I'm not still upset about this, nor do I think of it very often that many of you pointed out its ancient history regarding an ex-boyfriend. Just one of those gray areas where I've always wondered who was right. Thanks so much for your feedback and interesting, sometimes hilarious, responses. It's been fun. Not the asshole. You paid for the pipes, and your offer to split the proceeds 50-50 was more than fair. Was an AH. Jesus fucking Christ. You paid for the pipes, and he stole them from you. I'm glad you dumped his thieving ass. Not the asshole. He was out of line for sure. I think personally even giving him 50-50 was exceptionally generous of you. He doesn't sound worth the trouble. Am I the asshole for flipping the breaker on my roommate's gaming setup after he refused to help pay the electric bill? I, 25M, live with my roommate John, 25M. We split rent and utilities 50-50ths. Recently, John got really into high-end PC gaming and crypto mining. He built a massive setup with multiple GPUs in his bedroom. He runs this setup 24/7. Because of this, his room is constantly an oven, and he leaves his door open to let the heat out, which forces our AC to work overtime to keep the rest of the apartment livable. Last month, our electric bill jumped from $150 to $350. I asked John if he would be willing to pay a larger share of the bill since his setup is clearly the reason for the spike. He refused, saying, "We agreed to split everything 50-50ths. That's the deal. Don't be jealous just because I have a side hustle." I tried to explain that it's not about jealousy, it's about fairness. He told me to stop being broke and closed his door. Well, yesterday it was particularly hot and the AC was struggling. John had left for work, but left his rig running full blast. I was sweating in the living room. In a moment of petty frustration, I went to the fuse box and flipped the breaker for his bedroom. I didn't tell him. I just let the house cool down and turned the breaker back on 4 hours later before he got home. He came home, checked his PC, realized it had shut off, and lost his mind. He accused me of sabotaging his livelihood, and is now demanding I pay him for the crypto he lost during those 4 hours. I told him I'd pay him the second he covers the extra $200 on the electric bill. Now he's threatening to move out next month and leave me stuck with the full rent. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. And if he moves out, he gets to learn how leases work. Him leaving doesn't mean he doesn't owe rent. And if there isn't a lease, I guess you get to learn why there should have been. Not the asshole. He is a bellend, and unless he agrees to pay more, I'd be flicking it off every time he isn't home. When he's not around, just shut his door and stuff a towel so the hot air stays in his room. Computer will probably overheat. Am I the asshole for setting a boundary and refusing to drive my partner's sister home? So I, 26NB, am the only person currently in my immediate surrounding with a car and license. My partner's, 30M sister, 25F, currently doesn't have a car. Her last car was impounded for fines she didn't pay. For context, I'm not leaving someone incapable of driving FAFO. Anyways, she asked me to bring her into town a couple days ago to get groceries. I don't mind helping where it counts, but there's a limit. The long and short is she asked me if I could help her friends who were stranded first. She gave me a town name, which was just under an hour from my location. So I agree, given I'll be compensated, and the friends are chill. Apparently as I'm driving, and we're almost to said town, she says it's actually a different town. She claimed she didn't know, but that's on her to communicate. It's not a small difference either. It took me an extra 2 hours to and from. So when I finally got back homeward, I dropped her off at the store and then told her I wasn't bringing her home, which is roughly 30 minutes away, because I was exhausted from the unexpected 3-hour detour. She managed to find someone to drive her within 5 minutes. Her friend, S40F, is now mad at my partner and basically telling him to talk some sense into me. So I just gotta know, am I the asshole H here? Who cares what her friend thinks? Who cares what she thinks? If these people want car transportation, they better get a license and a vehicle or simply employ their own chauffeur. Not the asshole, but did you really need to ask? Not the asshole. You aren't Uber. You aren't a chauffeur. Those people get paid for their time and have set hours. Not the asshole. You're not her private chauffeur. And you kindly helped her out earlier. She's an adult and can figure out her transportation. Am I the asshole for my productivity/behavior becoming affected after my friend installed home security cameras? I, 24M, moved into my good friend's, 39M, house and we've been living together for 3 years. We're not partners. I don't work on account of a stressful degree, but the house is paid off and he makes enough for bills, so I buy groceries, do chores/cook, so I'm home often when not in class. 2 years ago, he bought a doorbell camera and security cameras for the sides and back of the house plus window/door sensors for security and to monitor his dog who sometimes escapes the yard. Fine. But soon after, he wanted security cameras in the house. He claimed it was to monitor the dog's mischief. They'd be in the entryway, living room, and hallway, which points at our bedrooms and bathroom. I said I was opposed. I didn't see the point of internal cameras when the outside was covered already. He said he'd give me access to the app, buy cameras with lids, and allow me to close the lids, which TBF he did, but I still didn't agree. I didn't want to have to worry about my privacy accessible in a hackable app. But he went ahead and got them anyway. The dog was often of little interest on camera as he milled about, so with the lack of activity, the cameras had a different benefit. A text right as I left the house. Why are you just now leaving? You should go to the store earlier. At dinner. Why didn't you get downstairs until 11? You were supposed to feed the dog at 10. I would say something funny happened with the dog while he was working. I know, I saw. If he texted with no immediate answer, I'd hear from a camera loudspeaker. Why are you not answering? Sometimes he posted funny things of the dog on the cameras to his Insta story, but a few times it's something funny of me on camera. I'd ask him to remove it, and though he didn't understand what the big deal was. I'd close camera lids, but because he gets upset if I don't open them before bed, I'd mostly leave them open to avoid the scolding if I forgot. The house feels less like home and more like the Truman Show sometimes, often leading me to avoid tasks, as I feel I can't do anything without the fear of surveillance. I'll admit there are some things I should have been doing at home that I was pushing to a later date, time, or forgetting. Still, I feel using the cameras for receipts is overstepping some kind of privacy boundary. Fear of being watched is so ingrained now. I catch myself sometimes unable to relax in the house or reflexively checking for a camera in my room before undressing. My friend says the cameras are harmless, that I should just get things done properly if I don't want to be monitored or called out by him. But I still feel this only causes me paranoia and frames my task struggling as my fault for what I feel was, and still is, an invasion of my privacy. Am I the asshole for surveillance anxiety affecting my productivity/behavior? Not the asshole, but you have to get out. He is creepy and controlling. What the hell is wrong with this comment section? Not the asshole, this is pretty much a pressure cooker for some intense mental health problems. Get out now, bestie. Free rent isn't worth not being able to relax in your home without a fear of being monitored. Time to find a new living situation.